fun. If you don't know what's happening, it's just out of your control. What's the point?
What's the point?
So again, ties back to process. And I truly believe that yes, certain people can have fun of the game by simply playing a champion, doing cool combos, whatever. That is a little part of fun of the game. But I truly believe the large majority of people in League, in the community, get the most satisfaction, fulfillment, and in turn the most fun by being present in the flow state, exerting their highest level of play, and the only way you can do that reliably is by having an incentive to try in that game. You might be able to try one game. You're not going to be able to try the next whole block. You're not going to be able to try later in the evening. You're not going to be able to try the next day. You can have that odd game, but doing it reliably just won't happen, and you're just going to get burnt out.
So you know how I was saying that the learning process is fun? You know what? Sometimes it's not fun. Like you have like a really frustrating block, and you're doing the process and everything, and this could go on for days, and like you get really pissed off.
Yeah.
And I would say that I'm not always having fun, but overall my experience is fun.
It reminds me a lot of the book we're reading right now in the book club.
Yeah.
You know how he talks about
Can't Hurt Me Down.
Yeah, Can't Hurt Me, and he talks about like the whole like suffering. But it's like not meant to be enjoyable. But like you do it, but you feel good afterwards. I think that's the important thing. You feel it's kind of like going to the gym. Like gym, okay, in a weird way is fun, but sometimes the process of getting up and going to the gym, wake up early in the morning, whatever, that's shit. It's shit for everyone. Doesn't matter who you are, and you lift a lot of weights, or you look good, or you don't look good. It's not like someone wants to do that in a way, or they do and they don't.
Yeah, well, again, it wouldn't be fun for someone that. I mean, let's say gym for me originally, I would never view it as a fun thing because I wouldn't see any results. Or I think that you have to put in so much work. Like that's again, we talk about that. It wasn't our identity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But once I didn't give a shit about the results, and results came after because I stuck to the process by going to the gym.
No, but I think Nathan, you're on an interesting point saying sometimes this is not.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just
sometimes it's just not. It's like a greater. There's a greater cause. Like, it's like okay, me trying to go from 800 LP to 900. A lot of the time, I'm gonna queue up and I'm gonna have, like you said, a shitty block. Overall, I didn't really have that much fun. It might have been a 15 and then have 2 losing sides and then I get off roll. A lot of the time I get 2 support games. I'm gonna have glimpses of fun in a cool skirmish or whatever, but overall it's probably not that fun. There's probably other things I could have done to have more fun. But then again, the grand scheme of things, I'm setting myself up to put myself in a position where I'm gonna have a shit ton of fulfillment and fun. So again, it's just like the long-term, short-term thing again. So hopefully that answers. Hopefully that answers something.
Yeah.
For some people.
Yeah. The way my advice is, if you're asking the question, I'm just not having fun anymore. You really got to do some deep work about why you're playing the game and why. Because there's just so much underneath it. It's not as simple as whatever you might think it is.
I've actually got a little story here from I got an email.
Looks a bit like an essay to me, Curtis.
It's a bit of an essay here, but I think it's worth sharing because this guy he's a 30-year-old gamer from Poland. We've had a few of these stories on the
I swear our podcast, our audience is so old, man. Like
we do have a bit of an old.
We say so old 30. What do old people do, Curtis? Maybe we should start realigning our podcast. Like, at the beginning we do like our intros. What do old people do? Like, old men specifically. Do they play golf or something? We should start talking about the.
Dude, I could see myself playing golf, legit.
Yeah. Anyway, continue on, Curtis.
Okay. So anyway, this guy, he reached his goal that took him 7 years.
Oh my god, I love it.
He said thousands of hours watching many YouTube videos, which gave him almost nothing. So he's writing to share his story. He said, I made him successful, and he wants to tell you exactly what helped him the most. So hopefully some other people listening to this can also resonate and get a little bit of value from it. So I'll kind of skim through a little bit. So he's been playing for a long time, since Season 2. He played in Season 3, got gold. Then Season 4 is when the nightmare began. From this season, I was hard stuck platinum, bouncing from 4 to 1 time to time. I was a Shaco main. He felt worthless in the jungle. Felt useless, so eventually he changed the mid. Played a lot of different champions, but he got bored by playing more than 3. He just played a bunch of different champions because he got bored. But then he found out that champion mastery was key, so he only played Malzahar, Orianna, and Nivea. But anyway, because he was playing a lot of mages, he started finding himself playing very defensively because he versed champions like Zed and Katarina. So he just became a very passive player. And then he says, here we go into jungle diff compensation. He is pushing and not getting ganked by my jungler. I played with my lower ranked friends. I blame them. I truly believed that the game was coin flip and my account was screwed. He made a smurf, got to plat, nothing changed. League became unbearable for him at this point. There was no fun. Think of that. There was no fun. I always ended up angry, didn't want to play the same champions, and I was still losing. For me, losing was a big waste of time and I could not handle it. It mostly looks like this. I logged on, I would have 3 defeats, get angry, break for 1 week. I was afraid to queue up, scared of losing. When I was coming back, I played even worse because of not playing for a long period of time. Because if you don't play for a week, you're going to play worse. And bouncing back phase was always a weird case. I started playing for fun with 0 expectations, not caring if I win or lose, without any pressure to spend time with a friend. But then would have win streaks, get back to high plat, then it happened again, obviously with expectations, vicious circle. Finally...
I love that vicious circle. It's like, you have that, it's so crazy how quickly you can fall back. I've actually somewhat fallen into that trap recently a little bit, because I'm picking up like a new champion and stuff, and I've sort of been a little bit frustrated, learning Elise and Rex and stuff. But yeah, it's like, you know it's important, don't care, not attached to losses. You get results from it. Even though you got the results from that way, you now have expectation that you're just like you're good at the game or something now because like you're just beating everyone, right? And then you get that toxic expectation to now win like every game you're playing, and then you get angry, and then you're back to square one.
Because it leads to little decisions in game, like you would force things more, overcompensate more, play more scared, and it just impacts your gameplay in subtle ways.
That's the thing. So subtle ways, like oversighted whales or overcomplicate the shit out of the game, man. Like, dude, I've overcomplicated the game sometimes. It's unbelievable. It's actually like I don't think people could overcomplicate it more than sometimes in situations. Like, just fucking play the game. Basic fundamentals. Seed the crab. Make sure you have experience in gold.
Yep. So this guy was in the shit by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
This is very classic scenario.
Yep.
Right? So everything that we've mentioned on the podcast, he's basically had every problem.
Yeah.
He's had mental blocks for Zeds. He's had jungle diff compensations. He's had coin flip. He went through the coin flip, made new accounts, Smurf accounts. He's gone through the whole works. Then he said, a few months ago, I actually found your Orianna guide. He said it was very unique, interesting approach to the champion. Every little detail was explained precisely. I was overwhelmed with the amount of information. Then he jumped into the mid lane fundamentals, tilt videos, compensation, blah, 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 blah. And he says, I did not realize how many things I had been doing wrong. During many years of playing, I feel like I was going through every struggle you mentioned. And then when I found out you and Nathan have broken by concept, I was so happy. League is in my mind very often, and I'm listening to it every day to and from work in my car. So I started grinding ranked games, again with my fresh new mindset. I chose Anivia this time. And after 7 years of trying, on Sunday the 9th, he reached his goal, Diamond 4. He says, I was a reason he was able to do it. So below, he actually lists a bunch of changes he implemented, which in his opinion matters the most in my case. But he says that a lot of people probably have these get value from these things. So we're going to go through them. Most important thing for me was that he had to realize that he is going to lose a lot. Losing is part of the game. That you should play at least 200 games to find out what level that you are actually at. He said we spoke about in the BBC. And that you only need just above 50% win rate to climb. And that there is always someone better than you. And he said it was really hard for him to understand it because it caused him to tilt so many times. He could not handle losing. But after realizing these points, his mindset just changed. The fear of queuing up was gone. Again, tying back to the solo queue contract, it's part of the experience. It's inevitable you are going to lose. So the second thing was to have intention on every single wave and play according to your jungler. This one was huge for me. I am at every scuttle fight and trying to be there first. And since Anivia has amazing tools for zoning and cutting people off, it feels like the game is completely different for me now. It's so important. And he said the third one here was, you don't always need to be the carry and try risky things to help win the game. He says he's still struggling with this one. I'm assuming this is like the loser's game mentality. And sometimes he pushes too hard and dies a lot, especially when he's ahead or has an easy matchup. But that was something that really changed his mind. He says, during my journey in this season, there was a game in which he died to a Vel'Koz. After a few team fights, I found that killing him is the win condition. I waited the entire team fight as he would start his ult, then I would interrupt it with a wall. And he won this game where he was 0-5. He never would have won that game. The other tip he gave is review.
Problem solving. That's just
That's
like
problem
he's
solving.
literally solved a problem.
But think about that.
In the game.
If you never had that mentality, if you just gave up, you would never come to that conclusion. You
That's
wouldn't even
right.
get close to it.
No.
It's like, oh, I'm behind in lane.
So then now that game is literally basically a complete waste of time.
Go next.
Yeah.
Then he said, review the games and learn from your mistakes. It is painful, but it gives so much knowledge and confidence in next games. And he says, play often. I got better day by day as the week progressed. Simple stuff. Again, there's nothing fancy here, really. It's just he just seems like now he has a process. He's understanding the loser's game. He understands that losing is part of the experience. Have intention on waves. Don't try to be the carry all the time. Literally review your games, learn from your mistakes, and play often.
The way you go over this, I'm thinking he has switched from a short-term approach to a long-term approach to the game. And if you have a short-term approach to League of Legends, it will not be fun, I think. And you'll never climb.
Yeah, think about that. He went from just literally can't even go afraid to queue up, angry every game.
Short term,
vicious
short term.
cycles, all short term, all about win streaks, all about having fun right now. And notice how fun was tied to wins or losses.
Yep.
It's all it's all the same stuff we talk about. So thank you, his name's Pal from Poland, and dude, to get your goal of 7 years, that's amazing.
What's next, Mr.
What's
Power?
next, man? You gotta set another goal, dude. It's a pretty
Love it.
amazing story, dude.
Maybe it is really like, maybe League is just so mental driven, man. Like, we know it's a mental game, but like, holy guacamole, man. It's crazy.
You know what the scary thing is, dude? Is that this guy might never have
Never,
redone.
that's right.
That's the scary thing. He could have wasted thousands of hours.
How many people have missed out on this because he's actually...
Berline, utilitaire compact, multi-segment, voiture performante, VUS luxueux, camionnettes et camions commerciaux. Ce sont 30 nouveaux véhicules électriques que GM lancera d'ici 2025. Apprenez-en plus sur l'engagement de GM pour un futur tout électrique à gm.ca.
He learnt about himself from this and stuff.
Well, imagine how this is going to affect his real life, dude.
Yeah.
What other areas is he doing the exact same thing?
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Because that is such a powerful question there, Curtis. Imagine if he went on the way that he was approaching the game. I mean, that's what happens. You quit. You quit the game. And that's what I've seen. That's what I've found.
You don't have fun, dude. What's the point? Short term. Also wanted to talk about...
Can I switch out the camera, Curtis?
Okay.
We'll be back in 2 milliseconds, guys.
All right, we're back. So I was going to quickly touch on... switching off from League.
Turret plating will soon fall.
They won't catch me.
In a splash.
An ally has been slain. Killing spree.
Swimmingly.
An enemy has been slain.
They won't catch me.
Unstoppable.
One jump ahead of me. Wanna see a trick?
Dominating. An enemy
jump ahead of me.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain.
Banana splash. Yeah. The tide turns. won't catch me. Now we strike. Dominating. One jump ahead of you.
Respawning soon. The enemy is respawning soon.
I'll show them a wiry prey. The tide turns. Come on, let's go! Ah! I'm ready. Land
Your
ho!
inhibitor is respawning soon.